So, what do you want to coach on today?
Well, I had a business meeting this morning, and I had a realization in that meeting that in an effort to be open to someone else's opinion or belief about the company I'm working for, I lost touch with what my belief was. Mm-hmm. And I decided to completely let go of that belief and all attachment that I had to it, so that I wouldn't be shut down to what the other person was sharing. It was a branding person. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so when I realized this in the meeting this morning, I began to see that at the core of that there's something much deeper, and it was that I had really lost touch with my sense of self.
Okay.
And I'm seeing that showing up in other areas of my life also.
Okay, so today you wish you could reverse that a little bit, keep in touch with yourself more.
Yes, I'm going through a lot of changes,
mm-hmm.
very positive changes in my life right now, and I've always been really sure of who I am. And
okay. That's a wonderful gift, isn't it, to be sure of who you are?
Yes.
So you'd like to get back to that?
I want to get back to that. I want to be able to make improvements in my life mm-hmm. without trying to change the essence of who I am or getting confused.
Okay. Okay. So if you accomplished that, how would we know?
I know that I'll feel a sense of clarity
okay.
that I don't have right now. Mm-hmm. And just a major shift in my energy.
Well, a lot of times our belief system is formed when we're very, very young. And so you may be operating off of a belief that doesn't serve you anymore. So are you willing to look at that for a minute?
Yes.
Okay, I think the best thing we could do would just be for you to think back in your life to a time that you remember, and make it a specific time that you have a memory that's what we call hot, or still has some feeling in it, you know. And so what memory from childhood is when it's best comes up for you right now?
Just any memory.
Yeah, usually I ask for a memory about your father, so let's try that first. What comes up for you about that?
The earliest memory that I have of my father is like the day when he was leaving my mother and I. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if this is something that I've made up in my head.
So it doesn't really matter.
So that I'd have mm-hmm. some sort of closure or remember him leaving. But I was 2.
Okay.
And I remember being sat up on a dresser. Mm-hmm. He sat me on top of the dresser, and he said that he would be leaving, and any time that I missed him or thought of him, that I could just smell this shirt, and it was a camouflage shirt that he left with me.
Okay. Okay. And what was the feeling in this memory for you as a child? What were you feeling at that point?
Confused.
Okay.
I wasn't sad. I didn't have enough understanding.
Mm-hmm. At that young an age, you wouldn't have.
I just felt confused.
What kind of relationship did you have with your dad in the first 2 years of your life?
I don't know, but I've seen a couple of pictures, mm-hmm. and I always look very happy. I mean, Most of the pictures, or the only one I can really think of, I was an infant, just old enough really to, I guess, sit up on my own. And I didn't have any teeth, but I had this big open mouth smile, and I looked like I was, you know, just in heaven.
And you were with him?
I was with him.
Okay, so what would have been good about being with him? If you could just make a guess, why do you think you were happy?
Because I had a father.
So you must have had feelings about him that were positive.
Yes, I still do.
Okay.
I love him.
Okay, good. All right, so then what we want to do is we're going to take that memory and try to pull out a belief, maybe a limiting one, that we can use. So let me make some guesses about the belief. And, you know, it's your head, not mine, but I could just make a few guesses. If I'm getting closer, then stop me. And the way you'll know I'm getting really close to it is if it brings up a feeling for you.
Okay.
Okay? So I'm guessing that one of the beliefs you may have had at that point, and it may have been kind of unconscious since you were so young, but that I've lost my support system.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't, you're right. I was unconscious because I was too young, but definitely.
So that I'm guessing you might have formed the belief that, you know, things can be going along really good and you never know when somebody can just pull the rug right from underneath you.
Right.
So the belief would be, you know, don't count on security.
Right.
Because it's not there.
Exactly.
Okay, so how does that feel to know that that is what you wired in at that age?
It feels very real, first of all. It definitely rings true with me on many levels, and I see how it ties into the life I've created and what my biggest fears are. So, I mean, it just feels true.
Okay. So when I was talking about it, did it bring up any emotion for you? Or when you were talking about it?
It's something that I've thought about so much, and I have spent time focusing on it and exploring it, and so it's not bringing up a whole lot of emotion, but I know that I do still hang on to that belief. You know.
About the security?
Yeah, and not being able to count on it.
Well, you said the word sad a while ago, and you said you weren't sad. Does it make you sad when you think about that little child, though, losing her sense of security at that early a time in life?
Yes.
Tell me more about that.
Well, going back and imagining myself in that position, that situation, and never having really experienced fears, real world fears, thinking that the way life was how the world is.
Kind of the innocence of it.
And so now that I know what feelings are and I have names for them, I mean, it's very devastating. It's very, I mean, it's earth-shattering when you lose something that has played such a big role in your life, even if your life has only gone on for 2 years. I mean, everything's turned upside down.
And what did that do to your life, if you look at it from now?
I don't know. Do you mean how has it changed my life over the years? What effect has it had? I have not had stable relationships. Now I have been the one throughout my life. I have been the one to leave when things were too challenging.
I can imagine, because you were anticipating, the same thing would happen to you again.
Right, and so that became my way of protecting myself. So I could be the one to get out of the situation.
Wait a minute, what are you protecting yourself from right now? Can you ask that? I would assume that this memory would make you very sad.
Yeah.
So for what reason would you not express that? I mean, I know there's a lot of things going on here, but what makes you not able to feel that?
I've just convinced myself that I don't know. Yes, I'm protecting myself from all of the emotion that would come along with it. Part of me is scared that in accepting how upsetting this is, I might not be able to pull myself out of it as quickly as I would like to be able to. I have, over the past year, learned how to experience emotions in a way I had never experienced them before. But I know that I haven't allowed myself to go all the way into them still.
What if you went all the way into this one? What if you risk that? Tell me what would happen.
I would feel, the thought of going into it makes me feel very vulnerable. And I guess that's it, just very naked.
Okay. So, are you willing to go into that?
Yeah, I am. Yes, I'm willing.
Okay. So, here's a question that might take you there, so be prepared. I don't think you have children, but what if someday you had a little girl, and at 2 years old, this happened to her? What would you feel then?
I would feel heartbroken. I would be so afraid that this would shape her way of thinking and cause her not to be able to trust or love. I would want to do everything I could to protect her, but I'd also know that now, since I've experienced it, there's nothing one person can do to protect that child from the changes that have now taken place.
What would you want to tell her?
I would want to tell her that not everyone does that. Not everyone will leave, and it's okay to trust. And that she can feel safe with me. And I would not let her down.
You're going to be different.
Yeah.
So you would be her advocate.
I'll be different, and I'll try harder, and I'll do everything in my power to make sure that she has a healthy and stable and well-structured life, even though he won't be there.
And as she cried, what would you tell her about those tears?
That it's okay to feel how you're feeling. And you can cry now because it's safe. And if you cry now, then you won't spend the rest of your life fighting it.
Okay, so are you feeling that sadness now?
Yeah.
Okay. And it's okay to feel that?
It's okay. I still feel in some ways this is just the tip of the iceberg. But when it comes to this specific experience, this might be as deep as I've gotten.
Well, it's as deep as you need to go for now, okay? Because we've seen the heart of it, and you know what the heart of it is. So let's say that you want to reprogram that belief. Let's say, I don't know if do you need a Kleenex?
Oh, not yet.
Let's say that we want to put in a new belief.
Okay.
And have you not have to live with that one any longer, that there's no security for you. What belief would you want to put in? If we could install something that's different than that, what would you want to put in there?
I would want to, the old belief being that you can't count on anyone.
Yeah.
I would want to know or to believe that there are two things going on here. Two things. I want to be so solid and so just sure of who I am and what I'm capable of. And what I stand for, that people can come and go without me falling apart or my world ever being turned upside down again. And I'd also want to believe that that I can trust people. I can love people, and I can let them in. And I don't have to be fearful of what might come next, because I'm so secure in myself.
Yeah, there's an old adage that says it's better to have loved and lost than never to have loved at all.
Right.
So what sentence could you put in if you worded it to where it was exactly the way you want your life to be? What belief would you put in there? I am secure within myself. I am capable of trusting and loving. How does that sound when you hear yourself saying it?
Sounds good. I think I want to add to it.
Okay. You said I am secure within myself and capable of
loving and trusting without limits and without fear.
Okay, now to put it in there, we need to make it short and concise. Just
Okay.
one, really condensed little thought. And so what would that be?
I love and trust without limits.
Okay.
I want to make this two, though. There's part of me that really wants to make this two, because one is about where I'm at with myself, and the other is about where I'm at with other people. So I want to, with this new belief, I want to also install one that I am secure. And then the other, I trust and love without limits.
Okay.
So two.
Okay. I'm secure. I love and trust without limits. Okay. Does that cover it?
Yeah.
If you had those two in there, that would feel good.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so go back to what you said, you wanted to have happen in this coaching.
Okay.
And look at that again.
I wanted to be sure of myself. I don't know if I said this, but I want to have such a strong sense of self that I can be open to other people's thoughts and ideas without it creating confusion for me.
So you also wanted clarity. What clarity did you get with this?
Well, I'm really feeling like I can trust myself. I guess that that part about not being able to trust other people also applies to me. So the clarity I'm getting is that I can trust myself. And I am secure in who I am, and I can trust that, and I can depend on that.
So you already know that.
I know
Some
that.
level.
I do.
Well, there was a lot at stake for that little girl. You know, because if she had dared to keep on believing that she could trust people, she was going to get hurt. So she had to build that wall for protection. But there's a big difference between her and you. You know, you're a grown adult. So I'm going to challenge you to install that new belief, and I'll give you a way to do that. And so if I could, what would come of it? Would you get where you want to go if you had that belief pretty securely in you? And it sounds like it on one level already is.
Yes, it would help build the foundation for me to get where I want to go.
Okay. Good. Well, I don't know if we want to work on that in this session or not, but I can show you how to get that belief in there in our next session.
Okay. I would love to do that.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for being vulnerable with me.
Thank you for making it a safe place. Thank you.